Hello, Simone. So this is the last two transcripts, uh, the last two sessions. So we started with last Saturday, which was 2 days ago. So messed up, meaning like it's not functioning. Somebody can be messed up. Uh, well, this person cannot really think rationally. She's completely messed up. Really. Um, she has or he has different psychological disorders, and the situation can be messed up, disorganized. It's a big problem. It's not really functioning correctly. We talked about the kids living with their parents, very late in Latin countries. It's quite common to live still with the parents when the kids are 30 and past 30. It's interesting, but in America and Canada, the kids they tend to, take their independence very early. In Europe, it's the same. It's changing in Europe because life is becoming very, very expensive. But in America, you go to college, you go live on the campus, and you come back during the summertime. So the the kids they come back during the summertime or during the vacation, but most of the year they have to to take care of uh, their room or their apartment. So it's they have some kind of an independence, but it's not a full independence. You have a lot of kids, a lot of students working while studying, and you have also a big majority of students being helped financially by their parents. So they don't really understand the independence, but they still live uh, outside the familial environment, for most of the year. So it's convenient, okay? So you said like when you were 20, you moved out. Um, I made a mistake. It's not the right spelling, Berkeley. Um, we talked about the food as well. The food now is tainted, polluted, and it's full of colorants, preservatives, food additives. Mercury in different fish. Um, the bigger, if the fish is very big, you can find a lot of mercury, a concentration of mercury. They say that sardines can have less mercury, but still, it's I don't know about that now. You have to question everything. Tuna, the big tuna, is also full of mercury. It's a daily fight to find the right kind of food to eat, and it's also, especially if you have kids, the formula is important, or you can breastfeed. After a while, I stopped breastfeeding when my daughter was 8 months old. So I was buying different formulas made with goat's milk and a bit of spirulina. So she never got sick, never had any problems. So I guess that was fine. Cooling down, when the temperature is cooling down or warming up, heating up, to double something. I don't remember the expression I used here. Yeah, the mosquitoes, because we talked about the Zika virus. And when you have a lot of stagnant waters, swamps, you can have a lot of mosquitoes. Um, you said that the Zika is affecting mostly the poorest areas. And there is a link I sent you about the Zika virus in Brazil. If I can open the link, that would be great. It's not opening. It's not opening. It's coming. Very slowly, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on. So all countries and territories with active Zika virus transmission, so Northern America, Central America, South America, except Chile, because you have the winds and probably the location is the ideal, but why not the equator, Peru, but actually you also have part of the Pacific Islands, okay, and also you have Puerto Rico, uh, Central America, Americas. Trying to see if in Europe they have anything. Europe looks like they don't have any problems. In Africa, they don't, except this part. Uh, that's pretty much it. So I didn't see anything about Europe, but anyway, so it's mostly active in the northern and southern continent. So coming back to the transcript, so they tell you different advices, all the symptoms, etc., etc. You told me about that with the Zika virus, you can have different um, neurological defects. So in the ultrasound, you can check for the microcephaly, and so the head is smaller, the brain is smaller, so there are different defects and deformations. The green gas effect, global warming and the the atmosphere is warming up everything, so can also bring new kinds of diseases and new kinds of viruses, microbes. When it rains, this is quite not dangerous, but it's an open door for getting sick. In Canada, it's quite dry. Even the snow is dry, so it's not like you can really get sick. It's just cold, and it kills off a lot of microbes and viruses, except during the summer when it's very hot and the mosquitoes can show up. In Alberta, in British Columbia, there are many, 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 many mosquitoes. So that being said, to be outgoing is more like when you go out, you meet a lot of people, you're more sociable. So to be outgoing. Silent poison, you know, we we talked again about the food and all these different preservatives, all the different problems. The poison you find in the food nowadays, it's some kind of a silent poison. Okay, the wheat, because we talked about the gluten intolerance or allergies. Dumbing down the population or dumbing down the people, it's a way also to make them more stupid, retards. The food makes more and more people, I would say, psychologically sensitive. Seems like people have more and more bipolar disorders, different psychological disorders, and it's how can I say? It's quite interesting to notice this kind of stuff, because um, I don't know. I've noticed a lot of my friends having ADD. ADD is attention deficit disorder. Okay, so it's some kind of some. It's almost as if there is like a new generation of people with more psychological disease. In the water, the tap water, we wash the dishes with. Some people drink it. It's not really recommended to drink the tap water anywhere in the world, I would say, because it's like reused, recycled waters. And of course, in this water, you can find a lot of drugs. People, when they take an antidepressant, they have to pee. So it goes back to the water. It's recycled, but these kind of drugs don't go away. Okay. Selfies. Okay. Selfies, it's like a one day we're gonna I really want that to get closer and closer. Is one day we're gonna realize that the selfies are just stupid. I don't do that. I take some. I had to take some the other day when I went to the museum because of my daughter's school. They were asking us to take some pictures, so it's quite uh, a new thing for me. I don't like photos. My daughter as well, so but we made an exception here. It's refreshing to meet people who are not addicted to this kind of behavior. So chimarao, it's yerba mate without the Z, so yerba mate. It's a drink. People drink in, I believe, in Peru, Bolivia, also probably in Brazil. It's quite good. It's better than coffee. It's a stimulant, diuretic, but it's full of vitamins. The difference between yerba mate and coffee, for instance, is coffee. It's a diuretic, so you pee everything, So it's not gonna keep your vitamins. It's gonna, flush everything out. Yerba mate is full of nutrients, different vitamins, so it's quite good for you and keeps you awake. So I need to buy some, but I don't have time to go to this store. There's a store, it's like an Argentinian store. They sell this big bags of yerba mate, and it's quite good. It's not expensive, so it's very nice. Life was simple before. Nowadays, it's like you have to question everything you do, everything you eat, everything you buy. Uh, another thing we didn't talk about is, the Black Friday, Boxing Day. Those are days in America. In Canada, it's only the Boxing Day. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's like the day before, right after Christmas, and everything is discounted. So people, they don't have money, but they buy with credit cards. An additional TV, an additional sofa, an additional whatever. So it's quite, to me, it's a bit, I don't know, ridiculous because with this money you can do something else more productive. Farmers market, there is one here in Edmonton once a week, but winter is coming, so they're gonna stop doing that. And during the summer, during the winter, obviously, it's gonna be too cold to sell things outdoors. But during the summer, spring, fall, it's a common thing. People buy a lot, but you also have to question what they sell because it's not always organic. Now I'm going to use the second transcript from today, and to be freaked out, or the verb to freak out without the ed. To be freaked out is to be, stressed out, anxious, and to freak out is to be anxious. Okay. I told you about this story about the guy, the Chinese guy who was not pronouncing very well, clerk, so any kind of person working, in the administration, or it can be like a secretary or any kind of secretary, assistant, etc. But the guy meant clock instead of clerk. Okay. We talked about the maternity leave, and it's different in in America. They give you 12 weeks, but it's not paid. That's the American mentality. And in Canada, it's a few weeks, like 26 weeks paid, and after 23 non-paid. So it's quite fair. I believe it's in Germany where you have like 42 weeks. I don't remember. The list is somewhere. You have to check on Wikipedia, but I have the link somewhere. The cesarean, you told me that it's quite common in Brazil, and it's common in America and Canada, but it's not the number one thing. I gave birth naturally. I have a lot of friends who did that as well, and I know a lot of people who use the cesarean technique method in order to give birth. Um, for you it's different because you have a problematic pregnancy. You are at risk, so it's better to have a cesarean, and it's quite understandable for you. There is an article I sent you. I believe I can open it quickly. So while waiting for that, I'm gonna just go back here. Why is a C-section? C-section is a cesarean. It's more common in American English and Canadian to use this expression, a cesarean. Okay, it's getting more and more common. Some women say that it's not really giving birth. I don't care, personally. Concerning the food you're eating, when I was pregnant, I was craving a lot of meat, and I'm not a big meat eater. And I had, my God, I was eating a lot of meat. And when I stopped the pregnancy, when I gave birth, I didn't have any cravings for meat, which was perfect. And finally, I could just eat normally again. If you really want to have protein, which is important for for the formation of your baby, you can also make smoothies. You put fruits and protein powder, whatever. You can put milk on apple juice. You combine whatever you like, and after you can make different recipes. But the most essential is protein powder. Avocados, you said you eat a lot of avocados, which is perfect. And the avocados in Brazil are bigger. I told you about the avocado, the chocolate pudding made with avocados. It's very good. It's surprisingly good, actually. And my daughter kept visiting us. But she got a bit upset because I wasn't paying attention to her, and I had earlier sessions, but she was in school, and when she got out of school, it's like, hey, mommy, you need to pay attention to me now, okay? So, well, mommy needs to work, and she has to understand that is important. Yeah, it's life. So I showed you a picture of Obama with this little girl having a tantrum, which is quite funny. The avocados, you can find probably that someone you were telling me about the biggest. We call them. I cannot move it. Maybe like that. But this one. That's the one at the bottom. It's yeah, this one. It's pretty big. But we don't have big avocados, probably like in specialized. In Canada, when you go to the supermarket, you can buy coconut, you can buy different exotic fruits, so it's fine. But I've never seen those big avocados. They look really yummy. So to come back to the previous link, well, I don't want to subscribe, so sorry. Sky high C-section rates in the US don't translate to better birth outcomes. So some people or some doctors, they prescribe or they recommend C-section for some women to avoid any you know uh, mortality, like it's what's the name, I'm looking for the word, I forgot, birth mortality, and it seems like by the C-section is an alternative to that. I don't know about it. We are in civilized countries, so this kind of natural birth shouldn't be a problem. America has always been against natural stuff, which is annoying, and they like to pasteurize, ultra pasteurize everything, make sure everything is clean. They don't take any risks, and Americans are very lawful people. They like to start lawsuits, for no reason, just to get money, and they don't want to take responsibility of their actions. So it's easier to tell the doctor, there are bad doctors and good doctors, okay, like good lawyers, bad lawyers, good teachers, bad teachers, and it's important to to choose the right kind of hospital. Public hospitals in general are not very good. There are some good ones, but it's rare, and you don't want to wait forever. Okay, the dog is starting to bark. There is always a dog somewhere. I give you the recipe of the chocolate pudding with the avocados. So ripe avocados, they are good. They are not hard. They are ready to be eaten. Raw is like not cooked cocoa powder. Maple syrup, Canadian way, but you can use agave nectar or honey, whatever. Uh, Water or milk, almond milk, coconut milk, or soy milk. I hate soy. Vanilla and a bit of salt. So if you don't want to use any sugar, uh, there's a fructose in some avocados, and they can be sweet, naturally sweet. The fructose is natural sugar in the fruit. Concerning the Ghostbusters, she's watching like some kind of a cartoon, so it's like a silly version of Ghostbusters, nothing scary. Milk to breastfeed, and you told me about your future schedule. The school won't be too far, so it's good. You don't have to travel forever. And kids, they adapt. They can get a bit annoyed. They adapt to a certain routine, and after a while, if you change that, it can be annoying. So don't change too much. Just stick to the right kind of routine, and don't change that often. Maternity leave, we talked about it. Okay, so it's you can check the link here. It's on Wikipedia, I believe. If you scroll down, they're gonna see uh, this one. That was perfect. So we can see United States. Well, you can open it on your browser. You'll see better. But France has 20 weeks of paid leave. Germany 42, Sweden 40, uh, Greece 34, Norway 38, America, United States 12 weeks but not paid, and Canada is, you don't see it here. No, it's here, 29 and paid leave and 23 non-paid or unpaid. Coming back, so you know it's important to have the paid leave because you have a lot of expenses. When I was pregnant, I was not working. I was working a bit, but I couldn't really work too much. My husband was bringing most of the money, and we had still the same kind of bill, so he was suddenly responsible for a lot of stuff. Now I'm paying for everything. Um, his salary is okay, but when you are freelance, you can make more money or can make less money. It's not really stable. His income is stable, so we can rely on that. But most of the time, with all the consulting stuff and courses I give, we can be fine. Um, Lately, he went a bit nuts with the reparation of this house because he wants to feel fine. But I told him, look, be careful because we are renting, so it's not like this is our home, so keep your money for a future home. To be at risk, or I am at risk, or to have a risky pregnancy, that's the case. Public doctors, you have still to be careful of the public system. It's not always the best. Um, to have the surgery now, you told me about the gangs when they bring somebody who is injured. They can ask the doctor, to give the surgery right now. It's challenging. It's very, very. It's a lot of work, to be a doctor in a hospital or surgeon in a hospital. It's very, very challenging. It's a lot of work. So a lot of studies and a lot of work after. Um, but the biggest problem is, the public doctors are not as, I mean, they are very challenged with all the different experiences, all the different stories, all the different problems. But in the private sector, I would say, you have the security, the financial security, but you don't have as many, issues and challenges. Okay. Homeless people are quite big in Canada is a bit different. You can still find them, but they during the winter it's impossible to sleep outside, so they have different shelters. In America, it's very big. In San Francisco, you have a huge community of homeless people. So they beg for money on the street, on the subway, or also when you take the tram or the bus, you can still find a lot of people like that. The last time I went to Paris, it was really annoying because beggars were everywhere, everywhere. Shelter, that's a protection, a house or whatever. Okay. In America, it's interesting because when you have money, you can have access to a lot of stuff. Really, it's really like that. And I give you the case of O.J. Simpson, who got away with murder, basically. But also, the appearances are quite important in America. I would say they have a relaxing attitude, a relaxing outfit, but you have a lot of women who are very, very into plastic surgery. When you see, the Kardashian or Paris Hilton, all these women, they're already very rich and they just play with their appearances in order to make even more money. So she's a heiress, Paris Hilton. We have this slang cunt for a prostitute. Americans, they use a lot of vulgar words. It's quite surprising. I can use that. I don't like this kind of language. I have to be serious with my work. When I have different business meeting, I cannot use a slang. So I have to adapt to different situations, but this is not my cup of tea, the slang and being vulgar. San Fran is a diminutive, or the a pseudo of San Francisco, if you want to say that. Many people from San Fran say San Fran instead of San Francisco, or SF also. BFF is best friend forever. And in America, it's important to respect the private space. Also in Canada, you know, I remember when I arrived, I wanted to hug one of my husband's colleague because we hug a lot in America. The guy looked at me like I was crazy. It's like, well, whatever. We hug a lot. In some places, New York, it's a tiny bit more cold, but California, you have a lot of people where they hug a lot. They don't shake hands or they don't kiss on the cheeks. It's just hugging. So the private space is still important, and you cannot touch people without their consent. So it's a very big thing. It's very important. You have a wonderful evening. I know it's very late in Brazil right now, but for me it's 11, so it's not really late. And I still have a lot of recording to finish because I got late with this stuff. When I want to spend time with my family, I get distracted with so many things, cooking, cleaning. We went to visit a museum on Saturday, so, it was Saturday afternoon, so it was challenging to keep up with all the work, but now I have to get back to it. You have a wonderful night. I'll see you next Monday. Keep it up, go out, relax, sleep as much as you can, eat, and if you see some French, so it's because my computer is French. So when the last time I went to France, my MacBook Pro died, so I had to keep working. I had to buy a new computer. So this computer is French, but you can see some English stuff as well. I'll see you next Monday. Let me know if you have any questions, any topics you'd like to talk about, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Take care. Bye bye.